premise of this theory is that a child will attach to a specific person, generally a caregiver, and look to them for protection and emotional support. That support gives them a sense of stability and security so that they can branch out and take risks and grow as a person. Upon reflecting on my childhood, it became very clear to me that this person for me was Ryan. If I was scared at night, I would run to his bed and he would tell me that everything was going to be okay. Then he would sketch out a little picture of Tweety Bird, and I would wonder how he was such a talented artist. One thing that this experience has shown me is how different his relationship was with each of us girls. I was second in line after Ryan, so naturally we would pick her over stupid stuff. But at the end of the day, we were more than just siblings. We were really friends. I was known in middle school and high school as Ryan Madden's little sister, and it was a title that I was very proud to wear. I'll never forget our first high school party. My parents left town for the weekend, and I was supposed to stay at a friend's house. I can't even remember where you guys went, but what I do remember is my brother calling me around 5 p.m. to tell me that he was going to throw a party at our parents' house. I went and told my friends, and we immediately came up with a plan to get over there without any of our parents knowing. When I got to our house, I walked in, and my brother had a team of high schoolers moving the furniture from the living room upstairs to my parents' bedroom to make room for the band. He always dreamt big. Needless to say, it was the best party I've ever been to, and I knew in that very moment how epic high school was going to be with him. That party was spring break of 8th grade, and I think I was grounded through the entire summer. But it was worth it. Ryan had a lot of pain in his lifetime, and it was not fair. The things that he had to endure are the reason why this goodbye is so hard for our family. Because we knew his heart, and we knew that he deserved so much more out of life. But I feel very fortunate to have shared a lot of happy times with him. And I'm so grateful for everything that he taught me and the memories that I will hold close to my heart for the rest of my life. We love you, Ryan, and we will take you with us everywhere we go.
I heard someone say the other day that you cannot possess people, you can only experience them. Ryan was an extremely unique soul, one that at its core could never be confined. For the majority of his life, he was forced to sit very still and observe life from the sidelines. A bird's eye view that didn't allow him to physically partake in most of our big moments, only attempt to enjoy them in his own way afterwards. As tragic as that was for me as his sister to see, it has turned into the greatest gift he could have ever given me. Life in 2019 was very fast-paced for most, but for Ryan the pace was all too slow. This stillness allowed him to see things in a way that most will never have the opportunity to. He forced you to question God, life, love, friendship, and sheer existence in a way that no one else that has come across my path has been able to do. One of my favorite things about seeing him was experiencing this challenging nature. He would always say, "You're right, but on top of that," etc., etc. It was as if there was no topic I could bring up that he didn't already know 10 times more than me on. As a kid, Ryan was a sweet and sensitive soul. The irony in all of us being here today lies in my family's greatest secret, which I will share with you all today. It really is Caitlin who is the troublemaker in our family. She hides behind the accountant persona well, but make no mistake, a young Caitlin packed a much harder punch than a young Ryan. I can tell you that with full certainty because I was lucky enough to experience hers often while consistently being spared his, no matter how well deserved it may have been at the time. Ryan was a simple kid. As the oldest of 5, he just wanted his skateboard, a soccer ball, some music, and the occasional box of O's cereal, and he would get by. He loved sports. Sports were always a source of deep happiness for him. Growing up with 4 little sisters, he was forced to make the best of his circumstances and engage us where he could. I vividly remember Caitlin and I kneeling on my mom's bed with a pillow in front of us and a spaghetti strainer on our head so that Ryan could run down the hall and practice his tackling skills. Why we chose to put spaghetti strainers on our head is something I still don't know, but Caitlin and I enjoyed taking the opportunity to jump out of his way every third tackle so that he would run into the headboard. I have to give it to the kid. He was 100% committed to every single tackle, no matter how many times we forced him to become intimately acquainted with said headboard. That was how Ryan did everything in life. He was a wildly passionate, all-or-nothing kind of soul. He loved hard and he fought hard. He fought for his life, he fought for his freedom, his beliefs, and without a shadow of a doubt, we fought. Two negatives do not equal anything positive in the high-stakes game that is a relationship with your sibling. But we loved equally as hard, and we would fight for each other harder than anything. So to my sweet brother, wherever you are, promise to continue to fight for you. This has been a heartbreaking end to your 13-year battle against injustice. But what I know to be true is that you bravely traveled to the pits of humanity, to the most broken, lost, hurting, and forgotten about souls, and allowed them to experience the essence of Ryan Madden, the light that is you. You shared with them, you engaged with them, you crossed over taboo racial boundaries and never wavered from who you were. You showed them love, which as you so perfectly put it, really conquers all. Thank you for allowing us to experience you for almost 33 years and for leaving me with your words written on pages that I will cherish until the end. We were all saying that we always expected to be waiting for you at the gates, but how the tables have turned. I can't wait to see you in that nerdy smile because I have no doubt you will be the first one there to show me the way.
I wrote him a letter, per usual. Dear Ryan, I've had thousands of conversations with you, but I never thought I'd have to have this one. But to this day, I've written every single letter to you by hand, and in that way, this is no different. Ryan was my older brother, but he really was my best friend. Ryan and I had the real privilege of sharing our love and receiving it in the same way, which was through words. When we talked, we barely went 5 minutes between saying I love you and I miss you. He always understood what I had to say, and he always had my back. Every time I fought with one of my sisters, Ryan would call me and say, I kind of see where they're coming from, but don't worry about it. You're totally right. Just don't listen to them. So sorry, guys. He perpetuated my I know syndrome. Growing up, the only person my stubborn self felt like I knew less than was Ryan, and I looked to him for everything. Approval, guidance, love, and coaching, and he didn't hold back on any of it. He used to come to my soccer games when I was a kid and coach from the sidelines, and at the end, he'd ask me why I didn't score. Sorry, we're not all as athletic as you. But really, I always felt such a special bond with him, and I desperately hoped he felt it too. Last time I ever visited him, I actually told him that, and in response, he wrote me the best birthday card that I've ever gotten, and I'll keep close to me forever. In it, he told me a story about our relationship that I never knew, that made me laugh, smile, cry, everything. As it goes, Mom told you that when you breastfeed a baby, you form a spiritual bond, and you decided you wanted that bond with me. So when Mom asked you to feed me, you tucked the bottle under your armpit to make me feel like I was breastfeeding, and you hoped that meant we would share that bond too. He wrote to me in the letter, and I quote, I didn't just want this bond to happen, I really, really, really wanted it to happen. The incredible thing for me was, as the years began passing by, it became very clear very fast that you and I did indeed have a special connection. You responded to me in ways I feel like you didn't to others. We were just like two peas in a pod, and everyone would comment on it. You'd just follow me around like a little puppy, and everyone from Mom to Graham, and especially Aunt Erin and Aunt Susu would comment on it. Every single time they said it, I'd think in my head back to those days at the bottle, and feel like I had a real, actual secret, and that this was something greater at work. It was really and truly 100% the laying of the foundation for my belief in God. Apart from the absurd amount that Ryan and I talked about love, we're both romantic souls, we also talked a lot about God. He encouraged me to start a relationship with God by asking not what God could do for me, but what I could do for God. And the only way I know how to put that into practice now is to give you back to Him, with the faith that my own understanding is too small for your true purpose. I got to experience your intelligence, athleticism, thoughtfulness, your humor, your strength, your courage, your eloquence, your art, your empathy, your understanding, and most importantly, your unconditional love for the last 25 years. And though that will never feel like enough, I know that your job is just getting started here. One other thing I'm privileged enough to share with my brother is the way we express ourselves, which was oftentimes through poetry. Since I was a little kid, we've sent poetry to each other just to share our thoughts and feelings. And now I feel like it's my turn to start sharing your beautiful words with everyone else. The last poem I ever sent Ryan, which was just a couple months ago, wasn't very good. And I asked him to fix it for me and send me back his version. So this is the poem that he sent back to me. Fading from the blue of you and blacker into gray. Why'd you leave the memories if you had to walk away? Why'd you leave my heart in pieces to wonder which of them was true? How can I go on from here when half of me was you? For us, I would have sold my soul, and to you I gave it free. But you cannot buy or ever find what you lost in me. I guess I'm just another guy, but then again, who's counting? No raindrop is ever of the flood, no small stone of the mountain. I said goodbye through teary eyes before our time was due, but still I kept the better half of a heart you tore in two. Hey Carr, you always keep the better half. The better half is you. I love you. Now I finally get to respond to that and say you are so wrong. I always thought and will always think the better half is you, Ryan. We always will. You're the best brother I never could have asked for, and my best friend for life. I love you more than you could ever know, and I will for the rest of my life. You better be the one to open the gates for me. I'll miss you every day until then. Love always, Carl. Ryan, when I was reading your letters last week from when I was in high school, you used to tell me that in writing you back, it didn't have to be a full letter if I didn't want to sit and spend time giving you a full synopsis of my life. It could just be a short note, like in text message format. Just write a note and imagine you're texting me about what you're up to this morning. So here I am. I'm going to write you a short but concise text message about everything that's important to hear from my mouth. You taught my sisters and I more in your years on earth than you could have ever imagined. You lived your truth, fought for your life for your entire life, and craved happiness, health, and pure love in the midst of your storm. We're so proud to be your little sisters. I find deep comfort in knowing that in our last conversation in this life, the week before you left your body, we both agreed that black high-top Converse are the most aesthetically pleasing and proportional shoe ever made. They look good with jeans, Dickies, cut-off shorts, and really anything else. I promise that after our conversation, I'll stop spending $85 on white t-shirts and start going the budget-friendly Hanes route. We both agreed that if we were ever given a large sum of money, we'd spend it all on shoes. Now that you don't have to spend money, live it up for me up there in the shoe department. You can get your Jordan 4s and Jordan 9s, even though they are arguably the ugliest styles, but just get me a pair of 1s, as we were able to agree they're the superior shoe of that genre. I also find deep comfort in knowing the impact that you left on my sisters and I in the music department. 2 days after your departure, as we were driving over Canaan, I looked around as we were all singing Forgot About Dre,
screaming the lyrics with not one of us missing a single word in Eminem's second verse. I then looked to my left to see Ellie headbanging, screaming, "I love this song," over and over. At that moment, I knew your work here was done. You've successfully infiltrated the next generation. I pray that you call me as many times in our new life together as you did in our earthly one. I still need the excuse of you calling to get off the sales floor at work. You know how I feel about that place. Visit me wherever I am. I'll be looking in every creature and human that I meet for signs of you and your warmth and love around me. Please protect the girls and me. We'll make sure Ellie never loses her insane spirit, and we'll always be reminding her and all of our babies of you. You don't ever have to worry about that. The whole world will know about you, my friend. I feel deeper pain than I've ever felt knowing I'll never hear or smell or see you again. But you said in one of your poems that life's the type of journey that's not finished when we die, so I'll take your word for it, brother. Love, Case Dog.